Thank you guys for coming. Richard, how you doing?
Yeah,
You good? Feeling good?
Feeling good, man.
Good.
Fun to watch you
Good to
guys.
get you back. So.
It's kind of a masterclass of ball handling, crashing boards tonight for you guys.
Yeah, again, I thought last week was a really good game. I thought really competitive. I thought we really took a step up in a lot of areas in that game. And then coming into practice this week, it was clearly our best week of practice since this group has been together. And it was really nice to see just all the work they put in this week. We had 3 two-a-days this week. All the work they put in to, really come out and again, this is probably the most, from an execution standpoint, a focus standpoint, probably the best we've been all year, for 40 minutes.
You can see you guys come a long way. The chemistry, everybody kind of knowing their roles, and FE development, everything's.
Yeah, it's great to see FA, do some nice things around the basket again. It was a different type game than Oklahoma State game with how they were playing ball screens, but thought he did a really good job there. And like you said, our ball handling was awesome. 19 assists on 28 field goals and only 5 turnovers. Love the ball handling that our guys had tonight.
I had 3 guys that average about 15 points at the guards. Seemed like guys had pretty good amount of success. Beetle got going a little bit, but can you just talk about the preparation that went into that and execution?
We worked a lot. We worked a lot on defense this week and guarding. Those are 3 really good one-on-one players. We worked a lot on one-on-one, and thankfully, 2 of them didn't shoot the ball as well as they have been, and then Beetle got loose for some, but thought he hit tough shots. Thought some of his lefty spins and step throughs were tough finishes at the end. So, credit him for making, tough shots.
Yeah, you guys defended well. Only 11 fouls. I know that's been a problem at times this year. Can you talk about just the defensive effort without fouling to be able to be so physical?
I think footwork is so important, hand positioning, and also help from your teammates. And I thought collectively on defense, we helped each other a lot more than what we've had in the past. Players are really conscious to help the person guarding the ball, to not make it just a one-on-one, contest, but try to put other guys to get their hands on the ball or close to it, so it wasn't just free reign for the ball handler to go wherever he wanted.
What has Caleb done to really come in his own this year? It seems like he's more patient. He's not like trying to force things. Or.
Yeah, really, first thing it starts with his intensity and his passion. You can just feel it, when he's out on the court, how hard he plays. He would run through a wall for this program, and you kind of feel that when he plays. When you can add him, making shots and taking care of the ball, now, he can do some special things, like he's done the last couple games.
The way the schedule's set up now, you got another almost kind of a bye week, and then you play with Wyoming.
Mm-hmm.
And do you like the schedule this time of year?
Yeah, this last week it was finals, so we couldn't have a game during final week, but it was great to get some practice time with the guys and kind of just reset. And also, we have 11 new players, we have 4 new coaches. It was almost a nice little reset that we could really look and get players and individual things we wanted to get better at. And so we were able to work with the guys individually a little bit. Now that we know them, we've seen them play a handful of games, and so I think a lot of our players just got better individually this week too during our practices, and it was really just nice to see some of the results tonight.
When you look at FA, obviously seems to be improving. I hate to ask kind of what's next for him, but I know you've been kind of on him, coaching him hard. So I guess what kind of is next for him in that development this season even?
Yeah, I think physicality and consistency. Reading plays out there. There's some plays tonight that that maybe Will sees a little easier because Will's been in college longer than FA, and so just the more experience he gets to be able to see some plays out there, when to help, not to help, and then just a level of consistency with the physicality. That's been a big adjustment for him coming from overseas to here, and he's gotten much better, I think, the last 10 days, but can he stay consistent with the physicality, because it's going to be every night the rest of the year.
Yeah, you head to Wyoming. How do you balance, obviously, the elevation, having to get your legs? How do you balance kind of practicing hard, preparing, versus having the guys rested? How do you kind of balance that with a full week of practice?
Yeah, we have a week, and obviously it's the highest altitude I think in the country, and so we're gonna do what we do here, and guys are strong-willed. They'll have to be strong-willed, through that game and battle through it.
Yeah. What do you know about them? Because I know Sonny said they're just going to play fast and try to take advantage of that elevation, and if it gets a little chaotic, they'll take it. So what do you know about them, and how do you prepare for that?
We'll dive in really hard to them next couple days, but they're playing really well. Right now they're real physical, and so I'm glad we have a week to prepare and try to get ready.
It's your first taste of Mountain West Conference play. Is that very important to get right? Have that big start.
Definitely. You want to win every game. You go into. We know Wyoming's really good. We know it's a really tough place to play. We want to make sure we're prepared, and we go with the best game plan that we can have to hopefully give our guys the best opportunity.